Hello, beautiful friends and souls around the world. I hope you're doing as well as possible in those times of quite rapid change and so many new opportunities of self-experience. So yes, welcome to another consciousness stream. Today I would like to share a little bit more regarding my upcoming new Earth Mentorship Container, which is actually tied into the topic of this stream as well, all regarding sovereignty. So what does it actually represent when we talk about, share about sovereignty? Because sovereignty doesn't mean that we are then just all at once kind of stepping into this egoistic pathway and say my way or the highway, right? But it really means a higher consciousness of understanding and living from integrity, from really a pure, clear pathway of working and operating for self, but attuned to the whole. So this means that you're not only taking a kind of power and misuse that position, but actually that power is that wisdom, is this higher understanding what it means to step into this new earth experience, okay? And this new earth experience, once again, it only means that we are leaving an old way of existing, which is that duality, existing duality, understanding, and moving into a much more brighter broadcast of consciousness, which is then already fifth dimensional frequency and of course higher, okay? And where to start? Again, firstly, I want to tap a little bit regarding the sovereignty in general, because sovereignty means that we can't anymore blame or put out their fingers, point with the fingers, who is actually kind of having the fault for whatever reason you experience in your life, okay? But that you're really taking responsibility for your creation. And when we say you're taking responsibility, it isn't only that you say, okay, I now stood up, went to the store, buy something and get home, that this is your responsibility by walking the path, by buying, by eating, by sleeping, but as well that you're taking responsibility that anything and everything you attract into your life by your thoughts. So this means whatever you're thinking, you're then feeling, and what you're feeling is then actually as well becoming that reality. And we can't then anymore say, once again, if you're sovereign, awoke being, that it's the fault because it's raining, because the neighbor is so terrible, because they don't understand my consciousness where I am working, and so on. All of this you actually can't use anymore because these are excuses. So this means it's still vibrating in a way of consciousness of the 3D, and again, we are not here to even judge what is now 3D, 5D, etc., but just for a better explanation that higher you vibrate, more you awoke with your consciousness, bigger your responsibility becomes, because then you can't say, I'm not awake and I didn't know, because you do. And that's when we really start to slowly understand that everything we, with our own vibration, create. And as we are now in this 2024, beautiful souls, it's getting more and more powerful, and powerful with a good reason. And I'm sure that many of you felt what was happening last week. I think it was last week, yes, with the full moon in the astrology sign of Leo, because nothing happens by chance, by coincidence. Everything is perfectly aligned for the collective field, for the bigger shift. And that's why already Leo representing to get more and more in our own courageous sensation within, understanding, hey, I am source, I am awoke, so I can be sovereign with myself, with all around me, and I can courageously step on that pathway and walk the talk. Okay, so this means that we are starting more and more to be pushed almost into really sharing that awoke field we tapped in. So this means when we are becoming more conscious, it's not only then there to stay forever there for our own self, yeah, like being on a lonely island, right? But we are receiving that consciousness to be shared, to be spread, to be planted, to be anchored. And that's when we become really these guardians of this new earth world, reality, system, okay? And this is the new earth leadership. So it's not then anymore that we kind of always talk about these politicians and about the system, how terrible it is, right? And that the leaders are so not really working for us. But why? To show us, to mirror us that it's time to own your own leadership. And to own your own leadership doesn't mean then that you become once again in this egoistic role that you don't care then, my way or the highway, about others, about the social circle you're in, or even family, friends, but that you are then becoming really a beautiful guiding light. So this means you're inspiring, you're motivating by stepping, by talking, by walking the talk, okay? And that's when we start to really share all what we are receiving as a download, as a consciousness understanding, because it was never meant only to be there for you. It's there for you to wake up. But when you wake up to it and you already understand the, let's say, the next chapter, the next higher vision or picture, then it's on you to pass it on. And you can pass it on by living it, by like that you're inspiring others, by talking about it, by once again inspiring through those talks, or even being there if people who are maybe not there yet and not understanding that you can be then this kind of mentor or friend, or just an open space where they can share and ask those questions which maybe you had some time before you woke up. And that's where it is when we are now in 2024, that we're going to start more and more support our own grid system, because I want to really make this clear and simple, that the world, whatever you're perceiving outside, is always identically what is happening within you. So this means, are you in trust? Are you stable? Are you believing that you can create whatever? Then you're gonna, like a mirror outside, meet people like that who will give you that feedback that you can, for example, have amazing, I don't know, opportunities, jobs, projects, soul family meeting, etc. Everything outside 100% always reflects what is vibrating within you. So how far did you already work on your, let's call them now, limitations? Because the previous version of the world, so this means the vibration of the 3D, represented as a limited bandwidth in which you could only as much experience what is actually there. But now we already expanded this kind of limited space when we say you're vibrating then higher, right? And in this higher vibration, new doors, new opportunities, but as well new roles, new embodiment. And that's the point where as well is coming in then. I will talk a little bit later about it, about these new ways of being together, mentorship, new schools, new systems. All of this we are building up together. So this means it won't just happen from a state, from the politician system, which we experience in the limited bandwidth of the 3D, because there it can only exist and offer as much which is possible for the 3D limited space. But as we expanded, of course, almost logically, the old will not be able to supply, to support, to offer us anymore that kind of system which will actually give us then what is needed for this expansive new evolutional state of being together in society, in the learning, in the teaching, in the planting of that new, right? So again, we cannot lean then anymore on this old system. And I will bring it in again. So this means even these outer systems are as well our inner belief system. So this means we, by creating that space that we have, let's say now, a political system, economical system, all this we, by believing it, by nourishing it, by cultivating it, we are holding it, let's say now, alive, or we're keeping it alive. And by actually moving out now of this old system, because they're not anymore valid for our higher expansion consciousness state, expansive consciousness state, then of course we are the one which are actually breaking the old systems down. So we are doing it inside and seeing it and witnessing it same time outside. So this means when we talk about the old world is breaking apart or crumbling, it's actually we are crumbling our inner systems, whatever we believed before, experienced before, felt before. This is what we are doing with our higher awoken consciousness. So that's actually how we can as well, in a way, easier understand and glide through the process of the awakening, of the ascension path, however you want to call that, okay? So this means, again, coming back to the point of sovereignty. So if we till now still had the belief system, depends how much you worked on yourself in the past weeks, months, years, then of course you will still in a way wait. You will wait because you're used that something, someone outside will do it for you, will choose it for you, will tell you how it has to be. If it's in school, medical, in again, politics, in whatever job you're doing, however you need to look like, whatever it is, these are all systems which worked till now in the 3D limited version of our consciousness. Limited means still duality. Yeah? So this means duality will always take away one part within, thinking something is missing. That's why I need the other side. For example, lack of, I don't know, of love. So you're constantly outside on the search and so on. Yeah. So it's really about, by the higher consciousness, which we mainly as the Gaia grid system, as this earth, as humanity is already plugged into it. So this means we already have the download consciously and subconsciously running now through everything and everyone about the oneness consciousness, right? It's already here. But now it's about the practical work is starting. And it's starting not just today, not just in the next weeks or months or a year, but we can say the next, for sure, I don't know, 10 years and further on, okay? That we are really now starting to use this awoken consciousness. Again, it's not just there to say, I'm awoke and you're behind. The consciousness is here like a new fabric which we're using to actually have inside new information how to perceive further into building this new reality, this new experience. Again, because we are from inside out building it. So with new ideas, with new feelings, with new vibration, with new understanding, with inputs that you can then say, okay, if the school system didn't or work till then, but now doesn't work anymore, particularly for my really already advanced, golden, new age children, which need so much more input than what was the previous school system offering, okay? Anything regarding history, etc. And it was fine. We are not here to blame it. Just it's outdated. So again, we are not here now to sit in our awoken consciousness and blame that the politician system is bad, medical bad, school bad, but that we see it's outdated. That's all what we need to see. And because we see it, the one who sees it has already the responsibility, that's your sovereignty, the responsibility planned then with your new higher consciousness information, the new seeds, the new ideas, because the old system has not the solution to support us for this new expansive consciousness state, right? So again, it's about us now. Okay, what can we do? The new children or the golden children, advanced beings need more input, needs different input. So let's just get together and start to either, write it down, look for it, how we can find maybe spaces for that, and so on, because every whole forest didn't start all of a sudden with thousands of trees. It started with a seed. It started then with one tree. It started that this one plant was growing and then become more and more. And that's how actually this new earth outside will be born through our ideas inside. And that's when we say the new dreaming is beginning, because we're dreaming it with our creativity, with our ideas, with our visions. That's all creation, right? So we are not sitting and waiting and just seeing everything is falling apart and it's what should we do now? But we're seeing it because we are breaking those systems down because they are outdated. And that's all what it actually is, to make it not dramatic. Because if we do, or we choose to make it dramatic, then of course it's as well a little bit more tougher to glide from a lower frequency state, I will say now the duality, oneness, from the duality into that oneness consciousness state from 3D into 5 and higher, okay? So it can be a little bit more tougher because you feel then really rather helpless and seeing everything as a tower moment outside rather than a signal, than a communication from the outside world saying, hey, give me then the new information, right? And the new information is always, again, your higher consciousness, which is guiding us to become these sovereign beings who can instantly create new creations, the new world. And that's not something which will, again, happen in thousands of years. It's happening right now. And that's why, as well, I was beautifully guided, and I'm always inspired if I can basically birth new projects, new activations, new everything what I'm now bringing and as a collaboration, as a contribution to this new earth world reality. that I was also basically birthing now, or bringing it together, the idea. And I know it's not only my idea. Again, when you're plugged into a higher consciousness, oneness system, many can have that similar idea, because it is already like a tool, like a support system, what is now really helping us all together in that oneness field, right? And that's why we often say, I'm here in Slovenia, someone is in the, I don't know, in the States having similar ideas, similar project, because we are plugged into that higher frequency grid system where we already receive perfectly aligned information what is next to be done. And that's when we say, more you're aligned to this higher guidance within yourself, the whole plan is unfolding in front of your eyes. And then you don't need to kind of fear, what should we do now on this in this ascension pathway, in this state now where we are seeing, witnessing, alive witnessing that the old systems are breaking, and everyone fears now, will we survive? What about money? How to find my role now? What is the next job? What should we do? Etc. Okay? And that's the point. If you are cultivating and staying in this higher consciousness of this oneness, which is already here, then you're more trusting and becoming stronger in that, rather than still dealing with what is happening now outside. So the outside was only a trigger to make us understand it's about time. These things are outdated. These things are not aligned anymore. And that's actually the only thing which is really here the main information behind. So not to get caught into these little details. What about I have now $500 less than last year or whatever. These are details. So get to the core of the things which are your consciousness will trigger you and make you understand, hey, if you were fitting before in a shoe, 37, I don't know, the number, and now you're on 40, why you're still expecting from your own self that you can squeeze yourself into and wish that everything is fulfilled and stays the same. So to learn that every change is actually just like a beautiful notification. Hey, it's time for the next step. Hey, it's time for the next door. Hey, it's time for the next idea. And that's how we are moving through this awakening of consciousness. Yeah, more and more is available, more and bigger the change will be, because we are not meant to stay in the same position, in the same role, in the same sensation, in the same experience. And all of us being craving the big change. We even waited lifetimes for this big change, all right? So basically, I really wish to motivate you, empower you. Don't fear now, thinking, how will I now survive if I'm losing the job and I don't even feel good in this job anymore? Or how to get the money, or how to sustain a good life, etc. You cannot expect anymore that whatever been before working for you in your previous consciousness state, which is your, let's say now, previous version of yourself, that it will also work then for your next more expanded version of yourself. It's not gonna work like that anymore. So rather use that energy and start to basically draw a completely, if you wish so, new life, but new life in the way, what makes you happy? Where do you feel that you can envision yourself? And don't get stuck in the between steps. So don't already think, okay, I don't have the money to get there where I think I've been called to. This you really leave to the higher guidance. You leave it to Gaia, you leave it to the consciousness field, which is carrying you and us towards where you're really meant to be, because that's the alignment which is happening now worldwide, not just worldwide, but planetary, on a multidimensional level. It's happening that we are getting into a complete divine order, and divine order will shake many as well by just making you realize what is the truth. And the truth is sometimes not just comfortable, because then you have to take the responsibility to become sovereign and say, okay, I see now the truth. I've been even maybe pretending that I'm fitting there for an overdue time, knowing and feeling that I actually should move already, but it was still comfortable. And maybe I didn't need to do so much inner work, because then I could still blind myself that I'm smaller than I'm actually in the meanwhile grew already, and I'm much more majestic and powerful than where I'm just showing the world where I'm still, let's say, the gray little mouse, okay? And that's where we are talking and walking that talk, that we're really taking now that power back, not waiting someone will now change those systems or keep blaming that how those politics and everything is so terrible. Take it back and don't get distracted. That's another point with this awakening, that we are easily then rather discuss, analyze what is all wrong. Instead, walk your talk and stay on the course, because that's the only thing when we can say now we are like that, getting into new guardianship, into new leadership, because we need those new leaders which gonna be born through your frequency. So it's not only that we're gonna meet now 100 new queens and kings and saying they are the main ones on the new earth. No, it's our own leadership which will then shape exactly your new role with the right purpose of the soul purpose, which is already signed up. You all signed up knowing already on some level what you need to do, where you need to go. And that's exactly when we talk about sovereignty. So not about only I'm a revolutionary person and screaming on the street, but you're really starting to embody higher consciousness into awareness, into your words, into your actions, into your choices. That's how we are anchoring really to become this, by divine plan and order, these sovereign beings who gonna then build the new earth experience for self, for others, and vibrate it into the reality, okay? So that's one part. And the other part is that I am, again, through this new project I was mentioning, opening this Saturday, so on the 3rd of February, the new Earth Mentorship Container. And what does it mean, container? So it's actually a space where I'm inviting those who are really ready to basically slowly build that beautiful consciousness into their actions, words, embodiment, and actually their choices. So this means that you are invited for this leadership, guardianship. And please don't be triggered by that word, leadership, because when you are triggered means that you're still somewhere feeling that some other are the chosen ones, but you're still that gray mouse. Think about that. So this means if my word now, leadership, triggers you, there's something within you still feeling and vibrating in that limited mindset of lack. So I'm not worthy, that I'm as well a leader, that I'm as well a sovereign being, that I'm as well the one who can be a guiding light for the new earth and for everyone, right? So this means exactly, if it triggers you, see it as a gift of this stream right now. And for the others which are already ready, and again, even if it triggers you today, tomorrow can already be transmuted if you just accept that spot within you, shine higher consciousness to this spot, and know you already expand that as well, or you can expand that you as well, because every single being is actually a sovereign consciousness of the God spark. Okay, so this means no one is excluded, even not basically the gray mouse there on the field. Okay, so it's really just about accepting your new expansive version of self, your new powers. And I can really feel, because as a multidimensional channel I am, and many of you are, but just saying now for myself, I can feel by speaking how I'm transmitting you already this really powerful codes, and as well this full moon in Leo did a big shift in many. This I can 100% tell you. And this means only that you remember how courageous you are, and that you can really surf through this reality and become so much more aligned with these waves, that you don't need to fear those waves, but really just jump on them and know that you can take the reign of this ground of your new beautiful kingdom, if you want to call that like that. Okay, again, back to the beautiful new earth mentorship. So this means I'm actually opening that gate, that space, this container on this Saturday to basically start work with you in a real time. So this means 2 times a month per 2 hours, we're gonna organically, whatever the group needs, because I'm constantly guided, the higher self with all the teams will guide this mentorship. It won't be just a mental mentorship, right? But in the first part of this 2 hours, twice a month, it will be all the questions you might have during this awakening, during this shift onto the new earth embodiment. All the questions, like all the symptoms maybe you're experiencing and you don't know to who to talk about or even find solutions, that I'm actually there like that anchor, and basically teach you, inspire you how to become more and more yourself that anchor, and basically then get those answers, but also just being in a container with equal-minded, in a similar frequency already, it strengthens everything which we gonna discuss there, which we gonna create there, because it's amplifying, right? Every beautiful circle of more people amplifies whatever being shared. And that's why usually in the indigenous times or indigenous people, they were always coming into circles. They knew it's sacred because it's creation. More minds flourishing the same idea, and it's really then amplifying and gets really fast exactly into the space. So in the second hour of these 2 hours, we will actually work then again live directly, bringing in channeled codes, bringing in activations, clearing whatever these in that container will need for their next steps. So this means we can work with different consciousness being states. If it's now, for example, I don't know, Isis, it can be the galactic family, it can be Mother Gaia, because as, again, multidimensional channel, I am since early age actually always connected with all those different states, so I can easily plug in and just help you to bring in and embody also these codes for your next step, more clarity, more stability, etc. And now imagine doing that twice a month and every month. Yeah, then imagine it's the same when you're really cultivating a small little seed into a beautiful flower, into a strong plant, okay? And that's actually why I was really, really excited to birth this into creation. And I'm 110% sure these containers, these circles are already happening and more will show up. And I'm even more convinced that those who will then step out of my container, our, will then actually guide others. And like that, we're becoming again this beautiful, organic consciousness space where we can serve each other. That's the main thing, being in a new earth experience, because there isn't anymore that duality, right? The duality of I know more and you're under me and you're above me and so on. But here we're going to really start to serve each other, assist each other, be there for each other, and not anymore again in this egoistic system which was purposely built in the 3D New Earth space, not New Earth, Old World space, because of course it was like many hidden agendas behind to just not allow you to step into this true self which you are and always been. It was never really lost. So we're just basically peeling off amnesia layers of this illusion which was hindering us to see more and more of our own light. And that's the awakening, right? So it's rather this remembering back. And that's also something in these containers or in this work I'm going to do with you, again, starting this Saturday, 3rd February, open to anyone who feels called. I will then later put on the link down, that we're going to have different topics of, okay, maybe I have this very advanced new golden child and I don't know how to talk with it or how to support their gifts, because maybe has already, I don't know, telepathic and all sorts of abilities. So I can really then support you with all of these different sections, because like that we are creating the new systems, like emotional, mental, school systems, body, whatever will show up, because again, it's going to be life transmitted by higher self. Higher self will guide this mentorship, okay? In collaboration with your higher self and all the teams of Gaia, because we are building again this guardianship, okay? Because before us, and this is also something I am openly speaking about, because it's time to share all sacred wisdom of Gaia, before the dragons had also the guardianship, okay? The dragons, the crystal worlds, the elementals, and they're now ready again to collaborate with us, because before humanity fall in consciousness and we couldn't anymore be accountable to basically keep beautiful Gaia and with all the systems in harmony. That's why other kingdoms took over to keep it basically running. So we can be also grateful for them in their existence, because this is all real. We are multidimensional layered, so this means there are other kingdoms who as well constantly collaborate with Gaia and all of our consciousness field. Again, now it's our turn with the new earth experience and grid system that we are stepping up and as well collaborate with the other kingdoms, guardianship, but mainly us as the new awoken, beautiful containers, links, channels with higher consciousness into physicality. That's our body, the link, okay? Whew, so many informations flowing through, but mainly, again, I really hope to brought some inspiration and understanding what it means really to be sovereign. And it has nothing to do with some my way or the highway, but it has to do with taking on a new role, responsibility, and being actually a wise leader by showing how you're choosing to be aligned with the all and not only just for your own self in an egoistic way, right? And then, of course, whoever feels drawn to this beautiful, really beautiful New Earth Mentorship Container, welcome on Saturday. And again, you're going to be provided with the recordings then as well, with all the questions which we're going to directly discuss and support how to actually find your new role in this new world we're building, yeah? So it's not anymore the old ways because they are all outdated, especially for you who are now listening. So to just give you that support, I'm completely open to welcome you there on Saturday, and again, twice a month, and discussing everything life, whatever is needed for that now moment, for the topic and all, for you who will be there with me. I'm honored and really thrilled to welcoming you, and I hope that this stream brought you some motivation, some power, some insights, and truly as well some golden, solar, powerful quotes, because be as courageous as the new leader, like the lion in the, yes, I'm hearing them, yes, the solar central sun. Much love from Slovenia to all of you. Bye for now.